Well, we opened in 2005, and at that time we really worked hard to become accredited by the Tea Guild, which was a big achievement, and we were the first in Cheshire and Merseyside as an independent business tea room to get accredited. So since that day we've worked really hard towards getting an award of excellence, which is what we've just achieved. And we just received it in the post 2 days ago, framed. And it's the Tea Guild's Award of Excellence 2009. And it's a massive achievement for us.
So can you tell me a little bit about the perfect cup of tea as Rose's Tea Rooms prepare it?
Oh, okay. Well, ideally you always should have fresh water when you prepare tea. It shouldn't be reboiled water. Put some in a teapot. It's usually a teaspoon per person. It's a classic one in terms of how much you'd use. And then you pour your water, which is just off the boil, which should be clean, fresh water. And then you let it steep, depending, and this is a big thing, it just depends on what kind of tea you have. Black teas, green teas, white teas, oolong teas, they're all very, very different, and they have different timings. So you'd have to check, if you were doing it at home, you'd have to check on the pack of your tea, how long you should steep for. If you're doing a classic English breakfast tea, for example, our house tea here, it's about 2 to 3 minutes. And then we have plunger teapots, which we'll see, and we let it brew for a couple of minutes at the required strength of the customer. The customer then plunges the teapot, and it can't brew any longer. It will stay at that flavour, at that strength, for as long as it takes you to drink your teapot, basically your pot of tea. And that's really the ideal way, because the longer a tea stays in the water, it basically overbrews, and then it becomes bitter, and it's what we call it here stewed, or the classic term you hear is stews. So that's how we make it. And again, the other thing that everybody asks me is, should it be milk first or after? And I've looked into this, I've researched this, I've spoken to writers who write about tea, I've spoken to our tea consultants who we use for sourcing teas, and there is no set formula. It's a bit of a myth about tea first or after. It's actually your preference. I put my tea afterwards because that's how I can tell if the strength of my tea is how I like it. If you put your milk in first, you're not going to be able to know whether you've got it just right.